So Cassidy, you've been, working with customers for a long time and really are an expert at digital marketing. And what I wanted to kind of hear from you was, what do you think the value is of social media right now, especially for small businesses? And what are some of the things they should be thinking about when it comes to social media?
Yeah, definitely. So it's a unique time for all businesses, and I think that social media is the best way to really get your messaging out there, and drive awareness about the status of your business. How are you guys adapting? Taking extra measures to guarantee your customers' safety during this time and whatnot. And so driving that messaging tactfully through social media is an excellent way to reach your both past customers and future customers who might be needing your services or products.
100%. So that's perfect. What are some of the things they should be doing on social media? Like, how often should a small business be maybe posting content, and what kind of content? And then how can they be engaging with their community and kind of building a following?
Yeah, definitely. So I think that it also depends on the size of your business and the size of your audience that you're reaching. If you have a huge following, you really need to be posting multiple times a day. Just so you can try to reach all of your audience. If you're just posting once a day, it's not as likely through organic posting that you'll actually reach all of your followers. So in that sense, if there was something that you absolutely had to get out there to your community or to your customers or followers, that's where I would leverage paid advertising across Instagram or social or Facebook to guarantee you can target your existing followers or existing customers and get that messaging out there. But really, you can't be posting too much, I don't think, especially if you have a loyal, engaged audience. And then as far as the type of content, I think it's important to keep it diverse. You never want to be too salesy. I always tell my clients, the social media is where you're showing and telling and not just, trying to convert someone into a sale. And I think to break through the noise right now of what's going on, I'm finding better engagement rates with just kind of the compassionate messaging and telling the story of your business. How has this affected you both personally or financially or with the business operations, and being honest. The messaging is all over the internet that we're in this together, and seeing that human side of the business, I think, is what's really driving up engagement rates right now.
Oh yeah, no, I love that. Actually, that's a great point, because I've seen some of those posts where businesses are being pretty transparent with like the challenges they're working through and how they're fighting for their business right now. And it definitely always catches your eye, and you take an extra look at it and like it and
Yeah.
leave a comment. So I think that's a great idea. And I think that's a pretty good power tip on promoting if you don't have a big following, because I think we're all seeing that, where more and more when you post something organically, it's not really getting the reach that it used to.
Yeah.
So putting a few bucks behind it to get it seen by more people is definitely a no-brainer. What would you recommend on a budget on that? Like, what should somebody be investing daily on that, or monthly?
Yeah, sure thing. So kind of, again, it just depends on your audience size. And so you're actually able to kind of play around with the budgeting in Facebook Ad Manager and test it out and see, if I spend $10 a day, how many people am I going to reach versus if I spend $100 a day, how many will I reach then? The general rule of thumb is obviously the more budget that you have, it simply allows you to reach more people. And so keep that in mind. You want to keep your audiences targeted and very specific and make sure you're reaching the right people so you're not wasting money on them. And so if you have a very specific audience and it's high quality and you need to get the messaging or the announcement out or whatever it may be, I would recommend setting your budget to guarantee that you're reaching all of them. And then of course, look back on the data. If you're spending, $20 a day and you're only reaching, 30% of your audience, and you need it to condense that and get the messaging out there now, pick that baby up, because you're going to reach more people. And it's not necessarily bad if your audience member sees that post 2 times. You don't want to have ad fatigue where they see it over and over and over again. So that's where you want to keep an eye on your frequency. But general rule of thumb, I like to just test things out in a campaign at about $20 a day per ad set. And then kind of adapt and go from there according to the data.
Got it. Yeah, that's a good power tip. And then on the frequency, what were you saying there? So should you set that to like 2 or 3 then, or?
So it's interesting. It kind of depends on the vertical. So for a fashion online boutique, if you are launching new products and let's say they're selling out quickly, you don't want to keep serving that ad to your customers if they're going to click on it only to get to a product that's sold out. And so in that case, you really want to keep your frequency below 3. For a business that has a longer sales funnel, so you can think of maybe like an expensive watch company. They might have a 6-month sales funnel where it doesn't actually, it's not a bad thing if you're continuously showing them some of the same pieces of content just to keep that brand awareness there. I've actually seen some e-commerce, more expensive items. I've seen a frequency of 26 over the course of 6 months, but it's the best return on ad spend out of all of our audiences, or best cost per acquisition. So I think that you just need to kind of look at the data. If your frequency is 6, but you're still holding strong at your target return on ad spend or target CPA, keep it going. If you start to see it go down, change that creative out. The reason why sometimes I like to let an ad run for a little bit longer period of time, what's going to happen is you're going to start getting comments and likes and shares, and your customers or your target audience, they're going to start talking to each other, tagging their friends and family, recommending your business. It's almost like they're brand ambassadors for you on your ad. And you can also participate in that conversation, redirect people if they are confused about something, and just participate in that overall communication.
Got it. Yeah, no, that's huge. I mean, so it sounds like just run it, test it, tweak it, based on the results, which makes perfect sense. But yeah, I think that's a great, idea there, just to be on top of the comments and be
Yeah.
engaging in the comments. And you're probably even going to find ideas for new content and new ads, I would imagine, in the content
Oh
in the
yeah,
comments.
definitely. If you see customers continuously asking the same question on your ads, that means that you're doing something wrong and you're not communicating something that's seemingly important. And so be able to be nimble and adapt. Social media and paid social media ads is definitely not a set it and forget it kind of strategy.
100%. Well, I really appreciate the tips. Super helpful. And I would just say, hey guys, when you're creating content, don't be afraid, just start creating content and look for valuable content. And maybe a tip would be, I think it's awkward for some business owners to create content sometimes and get used to that. So maybe just set a goal of creating like 10 pieces of content a day, with videos or pictures, but only actually posting 1 or 2. What
Right.
that'll do is get you going, but also will help you refine quality. You'll have 5 or
Totally.
10 things to pick from, and you're only going to, actually post 1 or 2. You're going to pick some
Right.
pretty good stuff, but that'll get you in the habit of kind of doing it without the pressure of the world seeing it, because you're just doing it as a habit of doing it. So that's my tip for the day. But I appreciate it,
Definitely.
Cassidy.
Yeah, thanks so much. Glad to be here.